Hi, welcome to today's episode of Essence with Afolabi. My name is Afolabi Olabanji. Today, we want to look at 5 basic concepts and ideas with which you can innovate. Simply put, how to innovate. Idea rules the world. An idea is a function of innovation. Innovation is starting a new thing, absolutely, or creating, reinventing a new thing from an old state, giving birth to something new from an old vision, starting a new vision from an old vision, building a new structure from an old rubble, or outrightly beginning a new invention and starting something dynamic afresh. This is what distinguishes a number of people from another. This is in fact what determines success over a period of time. How do you innovate? How do you give birth to new ideas? How do you start up a new thing? How do you birth a new vision? How do you start a new process? How do you bring to bear new principle, new approach that will guarantee success, that will bring a better life to the people, that will bring convenience at work, convenience at home, convenience in your neighborhood? There are a number of ideas that one needs to put together. There are a number of factors that needs to be followed for you to be able to innovate successfully, and such innovation accepted globally and across whatever sphere of influence you are. And the number one thing that you need to do on how to innovate is to conceive an idea. Conceive an idea. The first and most important thing for you to do when you want to go through the process of innovation is to conceive an idea. Idea rules the world, not money. Idea rules the world, not money. People pay for your ideas, not only for your time. Some people go to work and they mark time, they do nothing. Once you are like that, you are easily laid off because you are not paid for standing aloof. You are not paid for being idle. Rather, you are paid for putting your ideas to work, for there to be a change in the system, for there to be productivity in an environment. You have to be able to conceive an idea. How do you conceive an idea? Idea can be contacted. Idea can be inspired. Idea can be contacted from other people's ideas. Idea can be contacted from other books that you have read. Idea can be contacted from the things you are seeing around you. Idea can be inspired. Inspiration that comes from either a challenge in your environment, a challenge in the neighborhood, or even an art, work of nature. The idea just comes to you, and then it's been conceived by you. Haven't been accepted, you begin to conceive that idea, and then it comes to you, replays itself to you, begins to expand in your mind, and then gradually you are looking for ways to actualize the ideas that is flowing through your mind. How do you conceive an idea? You can conceive an idea from another person's idea, and then you can conceive an idea by taking over legitimately other people's idea. You can also conceive an idea by buying the right of ownership of someone else's idea. Okay, when someone has an idea and the idea is either abandoned or the idea is not followed through, and you feel you can have an input in such an idea to use it to make an innovation and an invention, you can legitimately and legally ask the original owner of the idea to allow you license, to allow you the opportunity and the right to expand the idea, develop the idea, and turn it into an innovation and an invention. One of the key things to do on how to innovate is to conceive an idea. Number 2, you have to nurture the idea you have conceived. You have to nurture the idea you have conceived. It is not enough for you to have an idea. It is not enough for you to conceive an idea. Idea had died in a lot of people. Idea had fainted in a lot of people. Idea had been suffocated in a lot of people. That is because it is not properly nurtured. You see, idea is like a baby, a fetus in a woman's womb. When that little growing features that is coming to become a living being, a life in itself, is not properly taken care of in the womb, it naturally dies in the womb. It naturally suffocates in the womb, and it poses danger both on the mother, the woman that is carrying it, and the child itself. Okay? You don't want idea to die inside you, because it leads to frustration, it leads to depression, it leads to unfulfillment. Ideas that comes to you are necessary to be turned into innovations and inventions, and are necessary to better your life and the life of the people around you. Okay, so such idea needs to be nurtured. How do you nurture your idea? Write it down. You need to write your idea down so it doesn't escape your mind. You need to write the idea down so you don't forget how it comes to you. You need to write the idea down so you can be able to relate with it and expand it. Relate with it and expand it. Write the idea down. Write it down where you can see it. Write it down and constantly go through the idea. You see, the more you go through the idea, the more it expands in your mind. The more you go through the idea that you have written down, the more the idea grows to you. The more it becomes real to you. You need to write the idea down. You need to be discreet about the idea. You need to write it down, make it very plain for yourself to be able to work with, and in a later time for you to be able to share it as a vision for other people to run with when you are ready to pursue the idea. You have to conceive an idea. You have to be able to nurture properly the idea you have conceived. And number 3, one key thing for you to do on your path to innovation: how to innovate, how to invent things. Remember, we said the first thing you need to do if you want to innovate or invent things in your generation, in your days, in your office, is to conceive an idea. The number 2 thing you need to do is to be able to nurture the idea you have conceived towards the point of delivery. And then number 3 is you need to birth the idea. You need to birth the idea. You need to give birth to the idea that you have conceived, to the idea that you have nurtured. Okay? You need to be able to get to the point where the idea that you have conceived and nurtured come to bear, come to life, come to full existence. And how do you do this? Systemically and step by step, you need to start to put to practice. You need to start to work on the idea gradually. You might necessarily have to do this by starting it small. Okay? Every great businesses, great organization, great empires, great ministries begins with God's inspiration of an idea that was nurtured and grown and given birth to. At the point when it was birthed was when you are seeing it coming up gradually. In fact, you really did not see the glory of most of these organizations and firms and ministry until the idea had grown and become big and great. You know, little hinges swing huge doors. Little droplet of water makes an ocean. You know, a forest is a composition of different kinds of seed from different species of trees and plants that makes a forest. That's what makes a forest. That's what makes a forest. So when you give birth to the idea gradually, if it's a business idea, start it very small. Start it gradually. Begin. Break the force of fear. Because when you are having an idea like that, one of the things that comes to your mind is it possible? Can I do it? Do I have the resources for it? And all of these things should have been taken care of during the point where you are nurturing your idea. One other thing I love to mention at the process of nurturing your idea is at that point you need to plan for the birth of the idea. You need to plan for the birth of the idea. How do you plan for the birth of the idea? Where do you want to execute this idea? What advices do you need in executing this idea? What are the people? Who are the people you need in executing this idea? What are the financial implications of executing this idea? What are the legal implications of executing this idea? How beneficial is this idea to me? How beneficial is this idea to the people around me? And you want to be quick to ask yourself this very important question too. Will this idea affect people adversely? Okay? Asking this very important question will help you to birth your idea. And I must be quick to say, one of the very, very, very famous mistake people make is have an idea that has no name. Have an idea that has no identity. The moment you have conceived your idea, you need to give the idea a name. You see, most people from the point of pregnancy already know the name they are going to give the child in their womb. In fact, some people have the name of their children far before they were even pregnant. The same way it should be for your idea. If you want to innovate a great thing, bring up an invention, have an identity for it. By that I mean have a name for it, have a brand for it. Have a name for it, have a brand for it. What does it stand for? What is it going to be called? What will it be known for? That's the vision of this idea. What's the vision of your idea? What's the philosophy of your idea? What are the guiding principles of this idea? That is what will lead you into the fulfillment of that idea. Okay? Don't forget, idea rules the world, not money. Idea rules the world, in fact, not people. If it's people that rules the world, this world should be properly ruled because we have billions of people across the world. But one single idea generates a lot of attention from the people across the world, and then that results in people participation and involvement. Okay, that is very, very, very important. Birthing your idea is important, and one of the key things you need when you are birthing your idea is the presence and involvement of professionals and mentor. Presence and involvement of professionals and mentor is very critical. It's very critical. It's critical for you to be able to stand on the shoulders of people who have gone ahead of you so that they can tell you what to do and what not to do. Okay? Go online. Check information about the invention. Check the information about the idea that is coming to your mind. See if anybody had done it before. If someone has done it before, how have they done it? Were there mistakes they made when they were trying to go about it? Okay? That helps you not to make the same mistake people that are going ahead of you had made, and that makes your journey in the birth of your invention and innovation easy. Okay, very important. It's very, very important to pay attention to it. And then finally, start your idea small but endeavor to start it excellently. Start your idea small but endeavor to start it excellently. The burden of African society is research, and research leads to idea conception. Idea conception leads to the birth of great ideas and invention. We need to research into things. We need to be able to ask critical questions about things around us. That will generate great ideas from us. And once great ideas are coming forth from us as individuals, most of the time it almost always culminates in great invention. And great invention many times is always solution to human problems. Okay, the solution to the problem we seek across the world is in our hands, is in our mind. It's just for us to birth them. Don't go to the grave like any other person with the idea in your mind. Don't go to the grave like every other person with the ideas in your mind. People need the ideas. The ideas in your mind are solution to people's problems. Okay, and you must be able to birth the idea to a logical conclusion. And in doing that, you become fulfilled, you become successful, you become happy with yourself. You generate inner joy by fulfilling that one key thing that has come to your mind. And so I encourage you to allow the vision you have come to bear and allow the idea you have come to fruition. Again, this is Essence with Afolabi Olabanji, and I trust that the great idea in your mind will be celebrated very shortly and the people will be better off for it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the season while you ruminate on the great ideas and invention that are on your mind. Have a beautiful and awesome time.